How's everybody doing today, guys? Hey, so today we have a different car. I'm sorry that I haven't been posting videos. It's just that I work every day. But looking at this, I have a 2005 Mercury Mountaineer with the 4.6 liters on it. And as you guys can see, the check engine light is flashing right now, the service engine soon. So in this case, I looked up the codes already using my scanner, and it seems that the codes that is giving me is actually 3 of them, and the codes that is telling me, they all refer to a misfire. So the first one is a P0300, which is a random misfire. It can be more than one. And then the second one is a P0304, which is a cylinder number 4 misfire. As you guys can see, the light is actually now solid, but once I give it gas, it starts flashing again. There you go. So the other one is a P0316, I believe so, if I'm not wrong, I guess. But that's actually saying something that there's actually a misfire at 1,000 revolution. So as you guys can see, all of them, they refer to a misfire. So I don't know if you guys had this kind of problem before, but the car, when you have a misfire, the car or truck or whatever you have, it kind of has a shaking. It starts like vibrating, like the car wants to die, but it doesn't want to die. It just shakes basically. So that's a sign of a misfire. Now in this case, as you guys can see, this is gonna be an easy fix, because the reason why is because, as you guys can see, the service engine soon, it's still misfired. It kind of goes away and then stays solid for a few seconds, but then it goes back to start flashing. So that's a sign that it is gonna be a coil. So in this case, what we're gonna start doing is first I'm gonna replace the spark plugs, and then once I replace the spark plugs, I'm gonna start it up, which is more than likely, we already know that it is a coil. Once I replace the spark plugs, I'm gonna start it up. Probably swap the coil, so I'm gonna swap the coil on cylinder number 4 with a different cylinder. So once I swap them, I'm gonna erase the check engine light, and then once I erase the check engine light, we are actually gonna start the engine. Once we start the engine, we're just gonna leave it running, probably give it a little bit of gas so we can probably help it out by doing a few revolutions on the engine. The check engine light should be coming on once we do that. If it comes back on, go ahead and hook up your scanner, check the check engine light again, and if the check engine light pops up a new code, meaning that if it chases the coil where you actually switch them, then that means that it is a coil what's actually bad. So in this case, if it does chase it, that means that you guys are gonna have to replace the coil that you guys just switched out. So let's go ahead and stay tuned right now. Right now I'm actually on my way to the auto parts store. As you guys can see, I'm in the highway following my friends, which is driving my Charger over there. I just noticed something also when I was driving it. My back driver tire, it is actually a little bit of shaking. So I wonder if that's my rim or if it's my tire. But I'm gonna take that to the tire shop anyways and probably get my rims refurbished. But that's not gonna be no time soon right now. It's probably gonna have to wait. But let's go ahead and stay tuned right now, and I'll catch up with you guys later. Okay, so now we are outside the next day, and we have the 05 Mercury with the check engine light, and we talked about it already, about the check engine light, saying that it has a misfire. So what I want to do, I want to go ahead and show it to you guys so you guys can also see it. So you got a P0300, which is a random misfire, 304, which is cylinder number 4, and the 316 engine misfire detected on the first 1,000 revolution. So we're gonna go ahead and start working by doing the tune-up and replacing the plugs and also swapping the coil. So this right here is the engine 4.6. On the driver's side, we got the 4 plugs, which is one right here, 2, 3, 4. And then on the passenger side, we got the other 4. But we're gonna have to disconnect this line right here, and we also gonna have to disconnect the air filter tube. Looking at it, it seems like somebody must have took it off before, because the clamp is not in the right. Well, it is in the right, but it's just not the, it's not slide all the way in. Once we take it off, we should have access to get to the other 4 on this side. In a few seconds, I'm about to put a picture of the firing order so you guys can also see it. I believe the number 1, it starts in the passenger side front, and it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we got a 4 misfire, that should be the one on the passenger side all the way in the back. Once you guys have taken the air filter tube and the other line off, you guys are gonna come over on the driver's side. It really doesn't matter where you guys start off, but I'm gonna start in the driver's side. You're gonna come over here on each coil, and you're gonna be disconnecting it. As you guys can see, this is plugged in right now. At the bottom, it has a tab on it that you press up, and then you pull back. And then you're gonna do that to every single one, all 8. Once you've taken all the connectors off, you're gonna take the screw right there off, the bolt right there, which I believe is probably a number 8. Once you pull that out, you pull it out, set it to the side, make sure you don't lose it, set the coil to the side too. It really doesn't matter if you get them mixed up, but I mean, if you're trying to put it back the same way you took it off, just try not to get it mixed up. I'm gonna take all 4 off on this side and set it to the side, and then I'm gonna start taking the plug out by using the spark plug socket. So I took all the screws out already, as you guys can see. The next step is gonna be removing the coil out. So you just basically hold in up, wiggle it to the sides, and then pull it out. As you guys can see, this is the coil. There goes the spring and the boot in the bottom. A lot of the times when you have a misfire, and if it says, like in this case, like a cylinder number 4, it kind of like telling you exactly maybe what it is. A lot of the times what it is a coil, like 9 out of 10, but it's not the actual coil. The top is actually just the boot and the spring in the inside that goes out. So what you guys might want to start doing is replacing the boot first with the spring, and then give it a try. If not, what you guys can do is purchase the whole coil. I bought this one for $49.99, the new one. So the boot and the spring, I really didn't ask how much was it, but I just went and replaced the coil. So I was like, why not spending a few more minutes, a few more dollars by buying the whole, like the new coil. Once you've taken all the coils out and set it to the side, you're gonna go back and use the extension with the swivel in the bottom and then the spark plug socket. You're gonna go ahead and break it loose. Of course, with the ratchet. Once you break it loose, you're gonna pull that out, and here goes the spark plug. Now this is actually cylinder number 5, and the one that is actually bad is cylinder number 4. So we have the old one to the left, and we have the new one to the right. On the top, it actually don't look too bad. This one seems like it is burnt, in the tip right there, but it's actually not too bad. So I'm already thinking, I already know that like 99.9% the problem might be the coil. So let's go ahead and start taking the other ones off and the passenger side too, and then we'll see how the number 4 comes out. So I'm gonna stop right here. I'm gonna replace all the ones in the driver's side, and then once I'm done, I'm gonna come back once I start doing the passenger side. Okay, so we got all 4 in the driver's side out already, and then we have the new ones that are getting ready to go back on. Also, the gap that the plugs has supposed to be 0.054, if you guys are wondering. Once you guys replace the plugs, you guys are gonna put the coils back in. So you just do the same thing that you did early, but the opposite. So you just slide them down, and make sure that when you do it too, like you give it an extra push to every single one of them, so you know for sure that they in there. But I'm not gonna put the screws on right now, and the reason why is because I'm gonna be swapping the coil with probably one of the coils on this side. But since it's a number 4, you don't want to replace a coil that it sits right next to the firing order. So in this case, I believe it's a 1374568. So we got the 4, and then we got the 5 before, and then we got the 8 after. So we don't want to replace the number 4 with the 5 or the 8. So what I'm thinking about doing, I'm probably gonna be doing 4 and 6. So which is gonna be 4 all the way in the back, 5, 6. So this one, I'm gonna take it out. And once I take this out, I'm just gonna set it to the side, just leave it in there, and I'm gonna put the screws in the other coils, and I'm gonna connect them also, so I don't forget to do that later. And then once I jump in the passenger side, I'm gonna grab the coil for cylinder number 4, bring it over here, and then this coil that I just took out, I'm gonna be putting it in number 4. And then I'm gonna be replacing the plugs, and also taking the coils out, and then once I'm done, put them back together just like how I did on the driver's side. So let's go ahead and start doing it, and then I'll come back later. So I took the coils out already. I do want to let you know that the one that sits right underneath the throttle is gonna be super hard to get it off. Well, it's not the coil, but the screw. And then also right here next to the fuel regulator right here, the next one, the screw that goes right there, is gonna be hard to get to also. I think that the hardest one for me, whether between that one and this one was actually harder. But I got the coils sitting right here. As you guys can see, I got them actually the same way I pulled them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is actually cylinder number 4. As you guys can see, it looks like it's soaked in something. I smelled it already, but it doesn't smell like gas. It smells like antifreeze. So I wonder if it's water, but I kind of like actually don't know. It does feel a little bit greasy, but that's because this is plastic, and water it feels like greasy, I guess. And I really don't know what it is. I wonder if it's oil, but it don't look like oil either. It's just clear. Sorry for the shaking, it's cold outside. But let's go ahead and replace the plugs, and then I'm gonna be swapping this coil right here with the one on that side. So let's go ahead and start working now. So I went and took the spark plugs on cylinder number 4 first, and as soon as I took it out, this is how it looks. That one does look like antifreeze. So in this case, what this customer actually has, she actually got a bad blow. Well, I'm not gonna say a blown head gasket, but she has a bad head gasket on this side. Now, I wonder if it's only happening close to the back of the engine. That's why the oil is getting mixed up with the antifreeze. You guys can actually see it how it came out. Just go ahead and take the other ones off and see how they look. So I took the plugs out already, took them out, and I got them sitting right on top of the air filter housing. The two in the back, which is 3 and 4, as you guys can see, they actually soaked in antifreeze. Number 2 looks okay. Number 1 looks okay. So this is the new ones to the right, and this is the bad ones to the left. So I'm really hoping that she doesn't have a bad head gasket, because if that's the case, the plugs on the right are gonna end up like the ones to the left. But she still wants me to do it, so we're gonna have to do it anyways. Let's go ahead and put this back on. Make sure that you guys put anti-seize on it. You know, I did that to the driver's side, I forgot to tell ya, but make sure you put anti-seize on it. Okay, so we got all the plugs replaced and we got the coils also replaced. I also swapped them already, so the number 4 over there, it ended up on this side, which is the second one right here, number 6. So let's go ahead and shut the hood down and go to the next step. The next step that we're gonna be doing is resetting the check engine light. Now, I could have done this, you know, when I was doing the tune-up. You guys could have disconnected the battery and that would reset all the monitors. But I want to do it like manually, you know, do it myself. So we got the same ones right now, you know, nothing hasn't changed because we haven't drive it. So we're gonna go back and click on the one that says erase code. Are you sure? You press yes and it's done. You press any key to go back. So the next step is gonna be start the engine. So I'm gonna shut it off and then start the engine now. As you guys can see, I did reset the check engine light. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go for a test drive. Let me put the mileage so you guys can see the mileage. Close the door, I guess. There you go. So the mileage is 197,458. So let's go for a test drive and see if the check engine light is gonna come on. It should come on. If the coil is really bad, it should come on. So let me go ahead and close the garage door and then we'll go for a test drive. Okay, so I've been driving the car for like 8 miles already. There goes the mileage right there. It was 187,458 when I first started driving. The check engine light is now flashing. I didn't even notice it was flashing because I was driving, you know. And you know how the exits, like when you're about to take a ramp to exit the highway and you know to enter another highway. Back there, I just passed it. It was an exit, and it was a Ford. Oh, damn! I forgot what kind of Ford was it, but it was a car. Okay. They must have had a flat tire. Okay. The tire was jacked up by using a floor jack right in the middle of the ramp. Can you imagine how dangerous that could be if your tire goes, you know, blows up? And if you're that dumb to replace your tire in the middle of the highway when you first exiting the highway, like for real, how can people not think about that? But let's go back to the scanner right here. I'm probably gonna see it when I get home because you know I don't want to be the next person stuck in the highway right now by me causing an accident or something. So let's go ahead and wait until I get home. We're almost home, okay? Almost home. Probably say maybe 2 minutes. So I'll see you guys at home, okay? Just make sure you guys don't go anywhere. Just wait for me. Okay, so we actually back home now. We're gonna go and see the check engine light and see what codes it give us. Remember, we switched the cylinder number 4 to cylinder number 6, the coil. So if the coil is actually the one that is bad, instead of saying cylinder number 4, it should say cylinder number 6. Now, if for some reasons it says that it's cylinder number 4, then she must have a bad pressure on her cylinder bore. But if that's not the case, then it's just a coil. So let's go ahead and click and read codes. First, we're gonna go and see the store codes. I don't think she's gonna have one because the check engine light is not on right now. Like I was saying early, it only comes on, as soon, and when it does, it starts flashing. So store codes, she has 0, nothing was found. And then pending codes, she has 1 only. And looking at it, hey, look at it, it's P0306. So that means it's cylinder number 6 misfired. So going back to what we did early, we swapped the coils 4 to 6 and 6 to 4. So 4 is not really the problem no more. It's actually number 6. And the reason why is because we switched the cylinder number 4 coil to the cylinder number 6. So the coil, in this case, it is the one that is bad. So let's go ahead and replace it with the new one. Let's go back for another test drive, and then we'll see what it does. Mileage right there. It took me 11 miles to drive it just to find out if the check engine light was gonna come back on. So let's go ahead and replace it. So I took the coil out already. It's right here. And we got the new one to the left. So let's go ahead and put the new one back over there on cylinder number 6. Put the screw back on. Reset the check engine light and go for another test drive. So we're back in the car now. As you guys can see, we're gonna go ahead and reset the check engine light. Erase, yes, press any key, go back, read codes, store codes 0, pending codes 0, incomplete modules. Let's see how many we got so you guys can actually see that I did reset the check engine light. Incomplete modules 5, complete monitors 3. So let's go for another test drive and see what it does. Mileage 197, 469. So let's go for a test drive. I was actually worried about the check engine light coming on, but I should be more worried about me getting to the gas station now. The low fuel level light just came on, and I was hoping that the light didn't come on because I was like, hey, we can probably maybe make it. But looking at it, it seems that we're not gonna make it, like to do like a full trip. So let's go ahead and exit the next exit, and we'll go to a gas station, put gas on it. Could have swear the car that I saw was back there. We just passed it, but I don't see it no more. Oh well, let's go to the gas station now. Hey, look, there goes Quick Trip over there. Quick Trip. Okay, so we actually back home again, and mileage is 197, 480. We left when it was 197, 469. Going back to the scanner, we're gonna look it up one more time, but I already know it's gonna be okay because when on my way back, no light came on. So that should be that we got good signs. Incomplete modules 2, okay, monitor 6. store codes, no codes are found. Pending codes, no pending codes are found. So in this case, we complete the section. Right, it's not like we was doing a test. But in this case, we already know for sure that we got the truck fixed. And a lot of the times, you know, on newer cars that has coil unplugged, and if the check engine light comes on and it starts flashing, and you know for sure that you got a misfire, coil unplug just makes everything so easy on the newer cars, you know. Now, I'm not gonna say not all of the new cars, because this is actually a 2005. My Charger is a 2008. This truck over here is a 2004, and it has coil unplugs also. So any car that has coil unplug, it just makes everything so easy. Because if the check engine light is, you know, flashing, like in this case, and it's telling you exactly one cylinder is bad, so you already know for sure automatically that it's gonna be the coil. But you don't want to go and replace the coil right away. So first you want to do a diagnostic, basically what we've done today. You swap the coils, and then, you know, pretty much you raise the check engine light, go for a test drive. Because if you just raise the check engine light and you start the engine and you just leave the car running outside, you know, and just wait, you know, hoping for the light to come back on, it's not gonna happen so easy unless you have a really bad misfire, you know. Then, you know, that's chances that the light might come on right away. But you want to help it out too. So you go for a test drive, you know, take it for like 10-20 miles, you know, and then come back home or whatever you at, and then check the codes. If the check engine light pops on your way back, you know, and it's flashing, then you already know for sure that it's a bad coil. Like in this case, once you replace it, go for another test drive with the new coil installed on it. Of course, reset the check engine light, you know. When you get back home, do the same thing that you've done today, check it with the scanner, and then if nothing else pops on, then that means that you actually finished with the tune-up section, and you successfully replaced the coil, and now your car is back to normal. I still gotta let the customer know that she might have a bad head gasket on the passenger side, which is the one where the plugs are, you know, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 4, 5, 6, and 8. The head gasket on that side, it was actually pretty good, because you saw that the plugs were actually pretty dry. So with that being on today, you know, we're actually done for today. So I hope you guys liked the video, and please subscribe if you haven't so. And I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.